the Creative Jam. That's right. We've got a name at last. It only took us 4 episodes, but we got there. Yeah, I wonder what people's thoughts are on the name. We had a session between the 3 of us.
Lengthy session.
A lengthy session.
It was a productive one, though.
It was.
We got quite a lot done. Yeah.
Yeah, it took about an hour and a half, I think. But we had a voting system. We must. I don't even know how many names we had. Like over 50. And we had different combinations.
It was essentially Eurovision.
It was. Think about it. It was.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we got there in the end, and we settled on the Creative Jam. So we hope the listeners dig it. We dig it. And
we dig it.
Yeah, it won the battle. It was a fierce battle, I must admit. But I mean, what was the end? Like 4? And I was a bit and then realised actually.
Well, we had the Creative Jam. We had, I think we settled that on the word creative would be in there, but we wanted to
jazz it up.
Yeah, jazz it up.
Because creative's like descriptive as it is anyway. Jam kind of brings it more back, you say, just more generally.
And we don't want to make any false promises that we're going to offer value here. So to put jam in it makes it seem like it is like, it's very loose.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're just shooting the shit here.
It's probably the best point you said. You didn't say it last week, but that makes so much sense now.
Yeah, all adds up.
Yeah. Welcome to the Creative Jam. I'm Jack. Sitting next to me,
Simon, as always. And
over Zoom video call,
live via satellite,
is Mr. Matthew Beckett.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
We did just spend an hour before this call trying to troubleshoot.
Yeah,
Matt's
if we all sound quite exasperated by now, it's because we've all lost the will to live.
Yeah,
it is.
We're literally an hour and 15 minutes late starting the podcast, but
we're here.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, we're just trying to create this narrative, this overarching story throughout the episodes of technical difficulties that we have with Matt's mic setup.
It's basically a story of all the gear, no idea, pretty much, isn't it?
We've kind of regressed. So we got the mic working on the last episode, and then all we had to do was troubleshoot a few location issues. But as you could probably tell, listening to this, Matt's back on a different microphone now. Just some connection issues that we can't.
Yeah, I like to think that it's a real underdog story that we're going for. With my microphone situation.
This one's the most frustrating because we're actually not sure what's going on.
No idea.
Well, he does use a PC, so I think that might be the culprit, to be honest.
Oh, we starting the PC Mac war earlier.
Yeah, I think so. Oof. Maybe just for now, but we'll get more into that, I'm sure, as we go on.
I'm also on Android as well, if you must.
Right, anyway. So we need a new co-host, obviously.
Yeah,
it's just not good enough.
End call quickly before he sees. How are we all?
Good.
How are we doing?
All right.
Started.
Yeah.
Anything interesting in the last week? Any interesting adventures for anyone?
Adventures? Good question. Well, back in the office more now, which is interesting.
Yeah.
To see the kind of way it goes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's one of them.
With your team or just on your own, or how's that going?
A bit of both, really. I mean, it's kind of split, like basically me and the developers on a Friday, me and the 2 designers, Gracie and Andy, went in last Thursday. So it's still disjointed to a degree, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's good to see people bits and bobs. Plus, again, it's not really the time to stop social distancing to a degree. So,
Is there an area of anxiety about?
I don't think so, funny enough. Like, no one really seems to mind. It's almost like, I work with you, so it's fine. That kind of aspect to it. But, I mean, you can apply it to anything, even family and friends, but yeah, not really, especially with 3 companies in one space. It's interesting that nobody actually practices distancing. I had a coffee with, obviously, John from our office, and obviously, client/work colleague, if you like. But we probably shouldn't be doing that, or should we? It's such a
No.
grey area. I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
It's driving me crazy in work. Like honestly,
yeah.
This weekend has been the worst for people just not believing in masks or social distancing.
Yeah, I think as well, somewhere like that, I'd be more nervous purely because you don't know who these people are. I guess the same with obviously, but we're so kind of confined to small amounts of people. It's not half as bad as you'll get maybe thousands on a Saturday, for example, going through the shop. I think I'd be a lot more anxious.
Thousands would be optimistic,
but
it's just crazy. I had some guy come in who said that he didn't understand. He was still not used to the whole mask thing, and I asked him what he did, and he managed a bar.
Oh,
and I was like, you work in the general public, and you don't even have like a mask on you at hand for anything. And you go past the bar that he worked at, and it's absolutely rammed. And no one's distancing.
Well, this is it, though, isn't it?
Crazy.
Like, some bars are very good at it. We've seen examples, haven't we? For example, I won't name them, but you know, there's two bars in Liverpool very close to each other, and it's like there's two different worlds completely. Because one place is like bar service, no one when you're bladdered, no one's gonna adhere to that. But there's a like table service only. Even the staff wear masks. Most bars I've been to, the staff don't wear masks, which is, you know, their discretion. But it shows who's kind of taking it very seriously, who's taking it a little bit seriously, and who's taking it less seriously, basically. I think everyone's generally taking it seriously to a degree, but there's still an aspect like, no, not everyone is really, especially the public.
Yeah, I think
the overarching issue is there's a lack of guidance from the government, because no one actually knows what the proper rules are, you know.
Or even best process, really.
Whatever's written down is not being practiced.
I was pointing out how the whole enforcing masks things can't be enforced. Like I had a customer at work the other day who I asked him, have you got a mask with you? He said no. I said, do you want one? He said no, and there's nothing I can do.
Oh really? Wow. That's crazy.
They say the fines have gone up, but if he doesn't want to wear a mask,
but I've never seen anyone getting fined.
I can't kick him out. I can't, you know.
Well, this is it. I mean, I was saying to Jack, funny enough, and I was thinking of a massive COVID tangent, but yeah, let's keep going with it. You know, I went to Tesco for the first time, and it's got to be months. I've been getting on online delivery, and I was surprised to see how many people were wearing masks versus the people that weren't. Because it's probably a good 60 weren't, 40 were percentage-wise. Which I always found strange, because it's not really a big ask, is it? In basically, you know, supermarkets, you know, retail shops, it's not a big ask. You know, even the data suggested didn't actually work. It doesn't matter. You know, it keeps people at ease as well. I'd rather just do it for that reason alone.
I mean, ultimately,
it's the drama of some people as well. Like, well, one girl decided she was wearing a mask, but she kept pulling it down, and she was trying on sunglasses, and I politely reminded her, look, like while you're trying stuff on like that, can you please keep your mask up? And she was having a right hissy fit to her boyfriend at the time, saying, like, I can't even see how my face looks in these sunglasses. It's like, God. If that is your worst problem right now, like, especially when you're trying on sunglasses, which are probably the least hygienic thing in the shop that we can't really police.
Well, this weekend gone, was it, as well?
Yeah.
Well, it pissed on anyway, did it not? So regardless what you need sunglasses for, come back when it's sunny.
Apparently to keep the rain out of our eyes.
Yeah, man.
Just gonna dip out momentarily to collect our delivery.
Okay, that's fine.
Cover for me.
But yeah, it's just like I say. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know where he's going. He's lost.
He'll probably turn up at some point. But update the arrival 10 minutes later. Oh, here we are. Oh, he's outside.
How's your noodles?
He's super, that driver was super charismatic.
Was he right?
Like, he was riding, as soon as I opened the door, he was just like, hey, what's it going, man? How's it going? I was like, oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, you know, it's lovely weather. It's pissing down. And he was like, oh, it's lovely weather, you know, I'm having the time of my life. I was like, right, okay. And then he put the bag in front of me and was like, all right, what you want? And I was like, I'll have a walk and go, please, mate. That's all right. And he opened it and was like, oh, well, we got a Mackey's, we got a Five Guys.
Really?
What,
No
what
way.
fancy?
That's so funny.
I was like, oh, I'll have it all, mate, if you don't
This
mind.
one's saying, though, you know, people
is
like
he
that
just
make the day,
dealing out of his little satchel?
Probably, yeah.
You know what? It perks you up a little bit when you meet people
does.
like that. It really makes an effect on you when someone just exuberates energy and just literally passes it on to you.
Well, it's like friendly conversation, isn't it? It's like a nice interaction. This is the thing, isn't it? I think people kind of forget like nice interactions. It's like almost surprising these days, isn't it? And we've kind of been a bit, not had much interaction in the past.
Absolutely, especially at a time like this. That's why I kind of admire that he had that energy, to be honest.
I quite like it, mate. I generally as well like when people almost like, for example, if someone says, "Oh, can I help with anything?" I'm like, "Oh, no, thank you, my mate." You know what I mean? Just kind of nice, polite. Even that interaction,
exactly.
It's all it takes. It's just simple, normal conversational. Even like it's, I don't need any help. Not like you say, people like look at it like a piece of shit. Like, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not nice. It's just not nice. I think you have to work in service to understand that. If that makes sense. Like I only did a small stint in it, but at the same time,
definitely.
It was in Padstow during the summer, a really hot summer as well, for like 2 months, and it was like I was only 17, so I got a lot of shit that month, for a couple of months. That was enough to kind of me to be like, you know what, I'm going to be very nice to people in the future because they deserve it for putting up this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can absolutely tell when someone has and hasn't worked in customer service.
Absolutely.
Just, if I go into a restaurant with people and they haven't worked in customer service before, and just the way they speak, it's completely different. Like I naturally, like when I go into a restaurant or whatever, my natural kind of the way I correspond is like it's almost like don't go out of the way for me, even though I'm there to be served. But it's it's just a natural thing that I have, and that like, oh no, you don't worry about that, or shout out to your coat if we go to barbers, and it's like, absolutely not. No, you don't want or do you want to drink? No, I don't want that at all. Like it's like I'm putting them out the way, but it's like it is their job.
But, like you don't want to be a fuss.
Exactly. Because and I think that's because I understand that they're in this for the long haul, how many hours or whatever, and they have, way fussier customers or whatever than me. So I would like to just kind of fly under the radar kind of thing.
I'd like to make your life as easy as possible for the next.
You know what though? There's a level to it though, in terms like someone's being a genuine dick to you and they work somewhere, then it's fine to be like, look, you're being a dick, but obviously like I'm saying, basically don't be overly nice for the sake of being nice. But it's just people skills, isn't it? When someone's being rude
and respect,
and that when they're not. A lot of these stories make me a lot like more better in bars and stuff because some of their stories are harrowing, and you think, what? I feel sorry for you having to deal with this shit, like, what I mean?
If you talk to bartenders, I think they've got 1,000,001. There's like a popular little viral video of like 1,000,001 things not to say to a bartender.
Don't click your fingers, that kind of thing. Don't wave your cash at them.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Waving your cash at the bar won't get you served any quicker.
That's a bizarre one.
My kind of thing to some of those haven't been served, just kind of get me bank card, me 2 hands, and just lean on the bar and just like not lean too far in, just kind of have me card out so people know I'm waiting to pay for something or I've not been served. And don't just look around as well. You don't look at them or nothing.
I kind of do that.
It's just courteous, like just so I've not been served, but I don't want to tell you not been served. And also as well, bar etiquette, one little thing I'll say at the last point. When like say you're waiting with somebody, basically next to the fella or a bird, shoulder to shoulder, and whoever got there first, if someone was there before you, but the barman comes to you or bartender comes to you and says, "What do you want?" What do you say?
If people have been waiting there?
Yeah, before, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say they've been waiting.
Stairs, yeah. Some people don't though. I've been the opposite end of that, and sometimes people have been like, "Oh, thanks for that, mate. I'll buy you a pint." You know what I mean? So we're like, "Oh, thank you for that, mate." They're really appreciative. But the people will kind of look at you.
I've never met anyone that says, "Oh, thanks, I'll buy you a pint."
Oh yeah, I've had that before, me. Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing.
No, nor have I. I've never at that level of.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me get served a minute before. Yeah.
Honestly.
Have a whole pint.
Yeah. But I think when it's busy though, people appreciate it a lot more because they went to chock a bar and you've both been waiting for like 10 minutes maybe, and even you'd be like, it's him. You know what I mean? Like,
or you might. Well, actually, no, that might make sense. Actually, if you're on a busy bar and he's getting beers in, like he might just throw you onto his
Oh,
round
yeah.
kind of thing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like,
okay,
and
that
it is
makes
kind of thing.
that makes more sense actually.
Yeah.
I think I've been in those situations actually at like a gig or something.
Yeah, you know the score.
Where like it's proper chocker, and you might not even be next because they just go down to the bottom and serve someone else again.
Do you remember the worst bar we've ever been to, Jack?
Oh, okay. Let me reel some off.
The worst bar like to wait at.
To wait at.
Is it Chester?
I will. I might bleep names, but to wait.
I don't even know the name of the place. But
I
remember.
What? Wait, give me a clue. So, what city? What area?
If I give you that, you'll know straight away. But think camping.
Really? Oh, Llandudno.
Yeah, do you remember when we ended up in that bizarre bar in Llandudno, like the only nightclub in North Wales or whatever it was?
That's a story I want to hear.
Oh, okay, yeah. So not the Weatherspoons, and not the pub after
not
it.
the Weathers.
The Weatherspoons.
No,
Yeah, so,
One worse than the Weatherspoons.
Right. So we were camping, and we took a train into the big city, which is Llandudno.
The big city.
And it was actually it was Wales against Belgium, wasn't it, in the Euros?
Yeah.
When Wales won.
Yeah.
And obviously we were in
way.
Wales. So we were in Wales, and it was an amazing atmosphere. It was so good. We were getting harassed by this young bartender who was having a go at one of our mates because he didn't have ID, even though he was clearly of age and looked it.
Yeah.
Tattoos and beard.
And he was trying to get us kicked out, but
oh shit,
the whole place was bouncing. So we were basically just like moving every time that he was harassing us and getting lost in the crowd. But yes, and then we as boys and girls from Liverpool and like craving that uni life, we were like, oh, what's the next best thing? What's a good like night out in Llandudno after like the local pub? And we found like a group of like young girls, locals maybe, and they said a false promise that there's this club and it's just this way. We ended up walking down this long road for about half an hour in the rain.
Yeah.
And then we got there.
It was apparently just up the road, but it was I swear it was like on the middle of like a main road by a junction or something.
It was, yeah, it was.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Nothing around it at all.
No.
There might as well have been a Little Chef next door to
Wow,
and
that's such a good reference.
And it was just like this whole different world inside. To be honest, the design and the design and the way it was a lot like Pot World. But I don't remember the drinks.
The weird thing is that it was absolutely rammed. Like there wasn't room, room to breathe. And I waited at the bar for an hour and a half.
What? Really?
Yeah, I'd completely sobered up.
You were in there for an hour and a half.
I was gonna say, I'd give up at that point. Like, I've been in bars and waited a long time, but that takes the piss. That does like.
I think by the time I got to the bar and ordered about 7 rounds, knowing I'm never getting back to this bar again. I think it was like lights on, time to go home.
Yeah.
I think the worst bar I've ever waited at, well, in general, the worst bars to wait at, probably match day bars. So you go like the Royal Oak after, football, everything by the ground. It's just like, just people there everywhere. They all want to get served for. It's like, 50 minutes till kickoff. Everyone wants to have a few bevies before. Well, one last bevy before even. Yeah, that's interesting. That though.
One of the best like bar stories I've got. Well, not stories. Well, kind of
situation.
I was at the Etihad Stadium watching Foo Fighters.
No way.
And with my brother Lee, and we just went as two in the middle of like close to the stage, but because the stadium like
it was vast.
You're right in the middle. You're in a sea of people, and we befriended like a group behind us. And that was it. When we first went into that area to walk, I had like 4 beers in one of those holders with my hand up in the air, trying to get there.
Yeah. Oh no.
And no, it's all right. So like I got there, but then the guy behind us was like, are those beers for us? Because they kind of let us through, like big guy. And I was like, oh, fuck's sake. But I ended up giving one to him. Because obviously me and Lee had like 2 big pints between us. I ended up giving one to him. And he was like so grateful. And he shared it between like his 4 people that we was with. just as one pint. It was almost like they were like so dehydrated that they didn't have anything. So they just like passed this pint round and felt well harsh. But then we befriended them throughout the gig.
Yeah.
And like right in the middle of the gig, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get his beers." And we were like, "No, don't do that. Like in the middle of the show, like, you know, we're not gonna see you again." Because the crowd's
yeah.
But he goes, doesn't he? And he's gone for like 45 minutes, something like that. Like the majority of like, the gig. And then I think it was like encore happens, and the band go off, and then the band come back on, and we hear like a shouting, and we turn our backs, and he's there with like eight pints in the air, both hands, his hands above the crowd, and he's just shimmying through.
What a fucking legend!
Wow,
absolute legend! And he's just slowly getting closer and closer. And like people around him like move out the way, and they're like, "Get him through, get him through!"
Really? Yeah, no.
And we're like cheering him on, and he's like, "He's here!" And he's like, when he's far away, he couldn't even see where we were.
He just kind of found his feet, kind of thing.
To see
just following the noise.
Yeah, and we were like, "Come here!" And he finally got there, and like we all had pints. It was
incredible.
For the final bit of the gig.
That's incredible.
Honestly, just that image.
What a beautiful turn.
I wish I could like.
Got a photo
paint. I would paint that image in my head. It was just so glorifying.
That's a very cool story. Let's be fair. That's one thing I don't like about festivals. The only one thing that pisses me off, or like even big, huge gigs, is you need to plan your bevies and your pisses to a T, and it's hard sometimes. You never know you need to piss. You never know you're gonna start sober up and start getting angry because you've not had your beer.
Festivals, you know what I mean? Because they're always far away from the stage.
Exactly.
I had to. I remember when I saw The Cure, I had to stop drinking like halfway through the day.
Did you?
Just because I knew that. Yeah, I don't want to need to pee during this.
Where did you see them?
Like I can't. That was a. Was that Reading and Leeds?
Oh,
yeah, it was Reading and Leeds. Yeah, it's Leeds. Yeah, years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
2012.
But it's the thing. I went to see The Cure and got pretty much to the front before we could get to the front, and it was funny to be fair. There's a kick-off between some like. He must have been about 70. He was fucking old. Nah, not that old actually. Yeah. He's grey-haired man anyway, probably like in his 50s or something. And this fella probably in his like mid-30s. And he was just proper like having a beef because he was telling this girl to fuck off, just saying things like, "Oh, you know, I was listening to these before you were born, so I want to get to the front and all this, you know, them type of guys." And this man told him to fuck off. Guys. And they had little fucking arguments, yeah. But that was the same problem I had. I just had to sober up when they were on. I was like, shit, I've got a headache now. 27 degrees all day. I was just like, should have got bottles put in my ass pocket. Next time, bottles, ass pocket, every pocket, bottle. Gotta be.
It's endurance, isn't it? Festivals.
Yeah.
It is. We've got, well, I don't know if we'll have Glastonbury next year.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to go to Glastonbury this year, weren't we?
I don't think it's going to happen, but anyway, that's a different story. Yeah.
We'll see.
Paul McCartney, man. Absolute dream.
I don't think, maybe he won't play next year. Maybe he's too old or something. Maybe something mad might happen to him.
Too old.
Might get COVID.
77 now, but like 78 is too old.
Yeah, maybe. You know, like, every year is precious. Like, don't forget, I'm saying that he's a fucking multi-millionaire though. He's probably looked after himself, hasn't he?
It's true.
Yeah, he's French.
Yeah.
So, we've got a kitten, Matt.
Yeah, this is what I need to hear about. This is the headline news of the day.
Yeah. Simon and I have adopted a 5-week-old kitten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's adorable.
Is it in the room?
Yeah, do you want to see him? Should I get her out?
Yeah, see if she's awake.
Let's see if she's awake.
Let's have a peek. If she's awake, yeah.
If she's awake. Literally today, this evening.
How did this come about?
Well, I'll let Simon tell that story because he was kind of following it all along yesterday. I got a text from Simon, like, well, it was an image of this cat. And
so if you can see, I'm just going to show you the bag because it might be too dark. You see it?
Hello. I could just about make her out.
See her bum because
she's tiny.
So tiny.
She's
Yeah.
She's a proper little.
She's absolutely.
Yeah, she's like size of your hand, small.
What Well, basically,
go
it
on,
was
what
in my
happened?
sister's last night. I went to see my sister. A little social
Yeah.
catch-up kind of thing. She's on her own and that kind of thing. Different story. But anyway, yeah, so basically, my other sister, sorry, that was my mum. She posted a picture in the family chat and was like, "Oh, this little kitten." And I was like, "Oh, that's cute." And then she says, "What did she say to me?" She's like, "Oh, yeah, it was, found in a skip." Because for context, so she worked at a horse yard, so they're like horsey animal people, that kind of thing. So yeah,
right.
Horsey animal people.
yeah, they're like animals basically.
Horse,
She's
you
animal
know
crazy.
the kind.
Well,
Yeah,
to be honest, you probably sympathize.
Yeah.
You've got so many animals, them kind of people like love animals that much. Love every single animal.
It's an addiction.
No idea what you mean.
As he's got a tortoise for everyone else's benefit in his hand. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, she was just like, "Oh, one of the girls and the women on the yard found this cat in a skip," and yeah, she was like,
Wow.
it needs a home. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, because basically I've got like I don't told you, but a feed like a cat that always comes around our house."
Yeah.
So since then, me and Jack been playing with him quite a lot. And we like cats anyway. We always have done, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, "Oh," but she's been telling me since that I have that cat on my lap, like the free like one, like, "Why don't you get one? Get a cat." I'm like, "I can't." I mean, even Jack used in the past, "We should get one. Just like a little passing comment. So she always on me case to have some form of animal, probably a cat kind of thing. So why don't you take him? And I was like, "Oh," I thought, "Fuck it. Go on, I'll ask Jack, see what he says," just thinking nothing of it, like to be like, "Oh," and he was like, "Yeah, I'm up for that."
Yeah, of course.
So it kind of spiraled then to be like, how can we organise this cat getting to the house and and all the rest of it?
I was gonna say, is this a cat that the landlord knows about, or
no, but fuck him because
we will not disclose our address on this podcast.
Yeah.
So you will never find us.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. I mean, it's I must admit, I don't think he'll care that much anyway. It's just that rules and stuff.
We're moving out in a month anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So where was the cat from?
Well, it got found in a skip. So basically, a woman who
was it in Liverpool or?
Oh yeah, in Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool. I don't know where about in Liverpool actually. All I know that the fella who found it was obviously Jill, woman who works at the yard as well. Her husband found it, and it was in a skip. I think, what is he again? He thinks he's a mechanic. So he's on like a, not scrap metal yard, but like a garage somewhere, throws shite out basically in a skip because he works in a trade. And unfortunately, he was found, this little tiny kitten, who was so cute and adorable, found with a brother that was dead in the skip. You know what I mean? Don't know how long he was there for. You know what I mean? Crazy. But someone's obviously just launched them because they don't want them, which is just disgusting. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the time I was offered kittens in Liverpool?
No.
Yeah, it was during uni. Me and Jess had gone and done some work experience on this documentary that I don't know if it ever saw the light of day.
Light of day.
And we were location scouting down by the docks, and came across this old like car work yard, and we were taking these photographs, and there was this like disused caravan, and all of a sudden the bloke who runs the yard came out nowhere to see what we were doing. And he just like normal conversation, then he turns to us and be like, "Do you want some kittens?"
That's some kind of dodgy deal.
We were like, this sounds like the kind of thing that your parents warn you about when you're like in school. But he took us to the back of this caravan, and a cat had laid kittens in the back of the caravan.
Wow.
And he had no idea what to do with them. They were literally like the size of like mice, like this big, rolling around, and there must have been about 10 kittens. And he was like, "Yeah, if you want them."
Really? Wow.
Yes. So we were just left cuddling all these little baby tiny kittens, debating whether or not we could take home 10 kittens.
Yeah.
It is sad, isn't it? But I mean,
Jess.
It happens though, doesn't it?
Seems to be. Yeah.
Like,
especially in Liverpool, apparently.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think it's because
stray kittens.
It's an overpopulation. It's a real issue.
Yeah.
Free stuff as well, can't go wrong with free stuff.
They say there's 5 kittens for every one person.
So what's the name?
Well,
I'm not too sure, but I like
Bella is what we're thinking. I like Bella a lot. I think it's what we should call it, to be honest.
Let's call it Bella. Let's say it on the podcast right now. We've named our cat.
Named it officially, Bella.
Bella.
It just sounds nice, you know what I mean?
That's a good name.
Bella
She's so fluffy as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby Bella. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just one of them, like you say. It's, you know,
Have you taken her to the vets yet?
Well, this is it. Yeah, basically, it says what Jack was saying as well. Like, you know, we need to get it checked out, kind of thing. And I was like saying to my sister, we would take it to the vet and get it looked at. And apparently, she's all healthy. She's fine. Just, you know, she's a bit skinny. You know what I mean? Needs a bit more of feed and stuff. So it was kind of, because again, 5 weeks isn't the age to take a cat. It's more 6 to 8. So we've got about another week until she's like a normal kitten age, and then, you know, 2 more weeks she'll be better. A month's time she gets needles, that kind of thing. So it's just these next couple of weeks are kind of crucial to.
Is she feeding?
Yeah,
is she
fine.
feeding all right? Yeah,
on her own. Yeah, she eats small amounts, so it's more like small and often. And she's, you know, you'll wake her up, she'll run around, but she sleeps a lot. That's what she needs, basically sleep, a little bit of stimulation, and just feeding, really, isn't it?
Yeah. She was surprisingly like really playful with us. Like she fell asleep on me, like on just meeting me for the first time. So
that's really sweet.
She's not like shower shocked or anything.
No.
Must be grateful as well that you're feeding her, and you know she's getting the support.
Well, that's what Louise said. She said, you know, when she fed her with her hands, she kind of not bit her hand, but bit her hand off almost. You know, like she was ready. Am I getting a meal again, kind of thing, you know? But when we fed her before, we kind of didn't force her to eat, but she kind of little nibble.
Yeah.
But we'll probably feed her again, won't we? Before we go to bed, kind of thing, and then she'll probably sleep through. I think she's fine. But she's at that age, though. You see, where I think she's too young to really have a bad effect on her. You know what happened, kind of thing. So she's kind of. And it might have been the day. It could have been a few hours, you know? Like, you wouldn't know, would you really? You know where the kitten came from?
No, you've no idea how long it's been there.
No.
Like, our first cat was found in a ditch.
Oh, really?
We got it from a rescue. Yeah, we got it from a rescue. And when we were given her from the rescue, we were told it was, you know, the right age to go. And took her to the vets. And it turned out she was only actually a couple of weeks old.
Oh, really? Wow.
The rescue didn't really know properly and had guessed wrong that she was nowhere near as old as we were told.
You know what? I think that's the problem.
So she had breathing.
Oh, did she?
She had a lot of breathing difficulties, but lived to the age of 20 odd.
Oh, really? Well.
So.
Wow.
We looked after her. Yeah, we looked after her really well.
It's crazy to think, though, like, you know, we could possibly have this cat till we're like 47, which is mad to think. You know? I mean, it's one of them. I mean, at this point, it's more like,
try not to think about that.
Didn't think about the commitment.
You know, But like I say, you know, we kind of struggle with her. We know she can go back to Pam, who found her. No, sorry, it was Pam that found, not Jill. Sorry, I said Jill before, but it's Pam. But yeah, she said, you know, she's happy to take her back and keep her, kind of thing. She kind of wants her, but, you know, I think it's good to basically nurture a little thing back to its health, you know, which would be nice regardless.
Yeah,
we
that's really sweet.
I can't see her getting rid of her, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Know?
No.
It's just, you know, like I say, there's options there. She'd be looked after regardless. So
once you put that effort in, I think it makes it really hard to give her up.
But like Jack was saying as well, you know, they're not exactly, you know, it literally shites in a box filled with like gravel. You know, it's 5 weeks old. It can shit on its own. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, it's fine.
Litter trained.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Which is crazy. You know,
it must have had some experience of being.
Yeah.
What I think's happened, this is my theory.
They must have tried to look after her.
Yeah, this is my theory completely, because what I think's happened is, because there's no way kittens just get lost and end up in a skip. They couldn't get up there. It's been put in there. But anyway.
No.
So what I think's happened is, because I've seen my brother, James, used to have a little cat called Gladys, and she had 2 litters very close between each other, because they didn't get it neutered. So they go out in the wild, these adult cats, they have kids, well, kittens, and then the people who own the cat is like, don't know what to do with these cats. Probably just, you know, launched them basically and was like, well, I don't know what to do. They put it in the skip. People have no heart and moral. You know what I mean? That's the problem with them. And you know, there's loads of people in the world like that. Exactly. But that's what I think's happened. An adult cat had a litter. They thought, I don't want nothing to do with it. Maybe sold a few. Probably secured they couldn't get rid of. I don't know.
Or even if the cat's gone out and got pregnant, you know, it can happen.
True. Yeah, that's true. And like, what do you mean, kittens outside and then kind of...
With the fact that it was...
Well, no, the cat's gone out, got pregnant while it's been out. And
that's what I'm saying.
They've just not been...
That's what I'm saying,
not
exactly.
Been prepared, yeah.
That's what happened to Gladys, like, twice. But they just got rid of them, like, like a normal person would do. Kept them for weeks and weeks until they were ready to go, and then just basically give them away for free. That's what you should do, not just throw them away.
Also, possibly because it was with a dead brother as well. Like, that kitten could have not survived anyway, and they threw throwing that out.
Possibly,
they just threw that one out with it, maybe, because I don't know why.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What's that? That either was already dead and they threw it, or it's died in the skip. But what are the odds that, you know, our cat has survived, but the brother hadn't? I think that she's been trained already, so she mustn't have only been in there for like a few hours, maybe. But
I think
possibly.
The cats not have like a normal instinct to kind of shite and gravel, but because you're saying dig anyway, because
a little bit.
She did shit on the floor, like, you know, but at the same time she kind of was come out the box like, what's going on here? So I don't think she's fully trained, but she probably, you know,
halfway there.
She has, you know, like you say, this is not like a brand new experience for her.
No, they do have some natural instincts, I think, to use whatever they can cover it up with, but.
It's so interesting, isn't it, to think like, you know, like animals just very smart. But like, the thing is though, like Jack was saying before, like it was sleeping on and stuff, it was very affectionate, wasn't she? And I've never seen a kitten that affectionate. When Gladys had kittens and I went around, all they want to do is run around and not want to see people. But this cat really loves people and attention. It's mad.
I think maybe it could be still maybe in that imprinting process where it's trying to work out who its mother is.
Possibly, yeah.
And in which case it will be really affectionate, and if it sees you and starts to associate you, then you'll be the one that it goes to.
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm looking forward to updates from the kitten.
Yeah, from the two gay dads.
Yep, we are dads now.
Exactly. Pair of dads.
Pair of dads, yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Creative Jam. I hope it's been of some value. Our ramblings about gigs and cats and COVID. Cats and COVID.
That's a good one, that.
Cats and COVID. That's a
good.
If
the episode needs a title, then.
Well, that's it. I want to take a trick out of the podcast that I really like. The podcast Jake and Jonathan. Jake Knapp, who wrote the book Sprint, and Jonathan Courtney, who runs AJ and Smart, and they have a podcast called Jake and Jonathan, and they always do very, very clickbaity titles just for the fun of it, and they are ludicrous, and some of them don't even relate to what's in the content, or they try and like just briefly touch on a theme like just for like seconds so they can put it in the title. It's pretty funny, but it also incidentally works well with the algorithm and the keywords. So I'd love to do like a similar thing. So we've got a title right there.
Cats and COVID.
Cats and COVID.
That's such a clickbait title as well.
Yeah,
it is good. Yeah,
it is good.
Yeah, you definitely want to know about that.
Yeah. 3 Northerners talking about cats and COVID. Eh? Who would have thought it? The internet's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in. And as always, if you'd like to get in touch, then feel free to email us.
That's hello@freecollective.co.uk.
Got it in one. Matt, goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye, all.
Bye, all.
Simple as. In a bit, fellas and women.
See you later, guys. We'll catch you next time on the Creative Jam.